Meet Yolanda Brooks, a calm, composed traveler waiting in line at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. On the surface, she appears to be just another passenger, but beneath the surface lies a powerful secret. Yolanda is an undercover TSA inspector on a mission to uncover acts of bias and misconduct by airport security staff. And this morning, she is about to meet the very officer she's been warned about, Ron Carter. Ron is a towering figure with a history of asserting his authority in ways that border on abusive. He's not a TSA agent himself, but a contracted private security officer stationed at a TSA checkpoint. He takes immense pride in his intimidating presence, often targeting passengers he deems suspicious. Whether it's a person of color, someone speaking limited English, or simply someone who seems nervous, Ron thrives on singling them out for extra scrutiny. Today, Yolanda is dressed in simple travel attire, comfortable jeans, a button-down blouse, and sneakers. She pulls a carry-on bag behind her and observes the line with a quiet awareness. As she approaches the checkpoint, she knows what to expect. Her ID and boarding pass are in hand, and she moves through the motions with practiced ease. The TSA agent checking documents finds nothing amiss, but just as she's about to be waved through, Ron steps in. "Step aside for additional screening," he announces, his voice cutting through the hum of the crowd. Yolanda complies without flinching. This is what she came for. A female agent conducts a pat-down while Ron looms nearby, watching with a sneer. Yolanda endures the invasive process silently, noting the details for her report. Ron then insists on searching her carry-on bag, rifling through her belongings with unnecessary aggression. Once the search is over, he tosses her items back haphazardly and says, "Next time, be more organized." Yolanda walks away, not with frustration, but with resolve. She finds a quiet spot near a renovation zone to log her notes into a secure app. She documents everything: the time, the location, Ron's physical description, and the nature of his conduct. This is just the beginning. Over the next few hours, she changes her outfit and returns to the checkpoint under a different identity. Again, Ron targets her, this time questioning her travel plans, inspecting her bag, and having her patted down once more. Each instance is recorded. The following morning, Yolanda watches from a distance as Ron harasses a middle-aged Asian woman and a young black teenager. His methods are consistent: humiliation, condescension, and control. Yolanda captures it all discreetly. Later, she speaks with other passengers who have experienced similar treatment. An elderly couple, a woman traveling alone, a family who spoke little English, each shares a story that matches the pattern. Yolanda pieces together the puzzle. With the evidence mounting, Yolanda contacts TSA supervisors Cassandra Fields and Mark Alvarez. They've heard whispers about Ron but lacked concrete proof. Now, they have it. Yolanda learns that the TSA regional director, James Robinson, is scheduled for an unannounced inspection that very afternoon. It's the perfect opportunity. She changes once more, this time dressing professionally in a charcoal suit with a laptop bag. She enters the checkpoint with confidence, dropping her bag purposefully to attract Ron's attention. As predicted, Ron swoops in, demanding to inspect her belongings and making sarcastic remarks. He violates protocol by turning on her laptop, inspecting files, and invading her privacy. Yolanda plays along, acting flustered, drawing out his misconduct. Just as he grabs her arm to escort her to secondary screening, a commanding voice interrupts. "That won't be necessary, Officer Carter." Ron turns to find himself face-to-face with TSA Regional Director James Robinson, flanked by Cassandra and Mark. Yolanda reveals her credentials, her calm demeanor turning resolute. "I'm Yolanda Brooks, TSA Inspector. You've just made our job much easier." The color drains from Ron's face. The crowd watches in silence as his badge is removed and he's placed on immediate suspension. Some passengers film the incident. Others look on in disbelief. Yolanda and the supervisors retreat to a private conference room. There, she lays out her full report: audio recordings, video evidence, passenger testimonies, and her own accounts. The director is visibly shaken. "This is a betrayal of our core values," he says. The decision is swift. Ron's contract is terminated, and he's barred from working security at the airport ever again. The regional director promises transparency if the incident gains media attention and commends Yolanda for her meticulous work. As Yolanda prepares to leave Atlanta, she reflects on her mission. Her father, a former community officer, used to say, "The uniform is for service, not ego." Yolanda carries that lesson with her, and today, it's made a difference. Back at the airport, Ron is gone. The checkpoint feels lighter. Passengers move through without fear. Yolanda smiles, knowing she helped make it safer. A message buzzes on her phone. Excellent work. Prepare for Denver. Her mission continues. There are other airports, other routes. But Yolanda Brooks is ready. She arrived in Denver 2 days later, stepping off the plane with a rolling suitcase and a fresh identity. Her name this time was Maya Jefferson, a consultant en route to a corporate conference. Her badge, credentials, and recording devices were once again discreetly tucked away, but her mind remained sharply focused on the task ahead. Denver International Airport had a reputation for efficiency, but Yolanda's department had received an uptick in complaints, not from passengers, but from TSA employees themselves. Whispers of internal favoritism, neglect of safety procedures, and an intimidating shift supervisor named Greg Simmons had made their way to headquarters. Greg, unlike Ron, wasn't loud or outwardly aggressive. He operated with subtlety, undermining his colleagues, assigning disproportionate workload to junior agents, and selectively enforcing rules. He rarely interacted with passengers, but his influence affected every screening lane he oversaw. Yolanda's objective in Denver was different, but no less urgent. Where Ron had ruled by overt hostility, Greg manipulated the system from within. And this time, the people suffering were the very workers tasked with keeping the public safe. She moved carefully through the terminal, observing. The agents here were more diverse and seemed friendlier, but beneath the smiles she detected something familiar, unease. In the employee cafeteria, she struck up casual conversations. Disguised as a tech consultant visiting to evaluate TSA checkpoint software, she blended in easily. A young female agent named Riley eventually opened up over coffee. He doesn't yell, Riley said, glancing around nervously, but he makes you feel like your job's on the line every day. He once reassigned someone to bag search duty for 3 weeks just because they forgot to say, sir. Yolanda listened, probing gently, confirming patterns. Another agent, a recent immigrant from Nepal named Arjun, described how Greg seemed to deliberately schedule him during peak hours alone, while others were given breaks. He says it's randomized, but somehow it always falls on me, Arjun murmured. Yolanda compiled notes, keeping her expression neutral. This was psychological warfare, not just workplace politics. And it was eroding morale in one of the country's busiest transit hubs. Over the next several days, she embedded herself deeper, watching Greg operate. He rarely addressed agents with eye contact. He spoke to female employees in clipped tones, and his emails were loaded with passive-aggressive remarks. But Yolanda needed one defining moment, something undeniable. That came when a luggage screening machine malfunctioned. Instead of escalating the issue through protocol, Greg berated the operator publicly and continued letting passengers through the faulty lane. Yolanda caught it all on camera. That night, she compiled her report, just as she had in Atlanta. This time, it was a different kind of abuse, quieter, more insidious, but no less harmful. When she presented her findings to the Denver regional lead, she again felt that swell of justice taking root. Her work wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. It protected people, both travelers and the ones guarding the gates. Maya Jefferson checked out of her hotel. Yolanda Brooks boarded her flight home. A new message awaited when she landed. Excellent job. We need you in Los Angeles next. High priority. She smiled. The mission never ends. And neither will she.